Hello and welcome to the Adventure Mindset Podcast. I am your host, Nareda Asalbiz. And today, I am thrilled to dive into a conversation about a counterintuitive aspect of leadership, how stepping back can be the key to empowering others. Joining me today is my middle school video teacher, whose mentorship goes beyond the big screen, Mr. Colin Quinn. Mr. Quinn, thank you so much for being here with us today.
You're welcome. You still got it. You still have the voice of Baker. This is where you started, right? It looks a little different than it used to, but this is where you started with your video career. And we miss you. We miss you, definitely.
Thank you. Well, you trained me well. I still have the anchor feel with me.
I can see this. Your own podcast, your own all kinds of things going on at the IA, and so congratulations on everything. You're doing great.
Thank you.
Very proud.
To get us started, I want to ask if you can share everything that you were involved in at Baker and also introduce this creature that we have in the middle of us who hopefully will not be creeping anyone out.
Okay, yes, sure. So I've been at Baker for like 20 years. Actually, exactly. This is my 20th year, and have a lot of leadership roles, starting with being a teacher. I teach video tech and digital apps, and just this year, computer science. And also, I'm the athletic director at the middle school, so I'm in charge of all the events and being at the events and making sure that there's contest managers and things like that. And then I'm also the innovation coach at Baker too, so that's a new title that I've got added to another hat added last year. So I help teachers, add some technology to their classes, innovation things, different things with video, different things with the portfolio and website interviews and things like that. So those are I'm sure there's some other things too. I do broadcast club. I used to do peer mediation. Anyway, there's a lot of hats. I can't even keep track of all of them, but I love being involved in a lot of different things.
And who's this?
Oh, yes. This is your old co-host from Bobcat Video, Bobcat, and I think that's where you started doing the S too, right?
Yeah,
Nareda
exactly.
SLBs. It was Bob A. Bobcat. Robert A. Bobcat. Do you remember his middle name?
I don't. I don't. What does the A stand for?
Disappointment.
Is it like Anthony?
Alexander.
Oh.
Alexander. Robert Alexander. And so Nareda and Bob would team up on the news every morning when she was in broadcast club, and they had a great connection, great chemistry. And I used to have different anchors and things, like I would do a lot of variety, different kids, try different kids. She kind of took over the announcements, and she led the way, and her and Bob were a great team back in the day and did Bobcat Video every morning. And it was a big hit at Baker.
It was.
And he's still around. Yes, he's duct taped together here, wearing different shirts. He's wearing track right now because track season's coming up. So he's still on the news. He has not retired. He lives on a shelf in my classroom. and he's staring at me right now. Wow.
He really is. His eyes really pop when you really look at him. So to give our viewers a little bit more context, I know Mr. Quinn very well because not only did I take all of his video classes, but I also did the announcements through the broadcast club. And what I will say is that prior to doing all of this video work, I had never really realized how important it was to be a good leader, to make good videos. And I'm sure some of our viewers might be wondering that same question. So Mr. Quinn, in what ways does leadership play a role in video production?
Great question. Yeah. Leadership is very important. Somebody has to step up. Whenever you're making a video, it's a big production. And one of the things that has led to leadership in my class, at least, was lack of equipment. We have to be in groups. So when working in groups, someone has to kind of step up and take a leadership role, decide on ideas, make sure everybody's involved, come up with the creative idea, but also to take other people's ideas. So as a group member, as a student, you have to be a leader there. And that's always been something fun for me to watch is who are the leaders, who steps up in class, and who are those leaders, who are the positive leaders. Sometimes the groups need a little pushing, or ideas or things like that. Sometimes you even need to split up a little bit, but definitely leadership in executing a big video project. A project over time needs to have, it's a lot of little parts put together, and if you don't have good leadership, video usually turns out not so good.
And one of the opportunities that you spearhead that I think has had a tremendous impact on my leadership journey is the Baker announcements, what we talked about earlier. And the Baker announcements here are called the Bobcat video. And I now want to dive into the question of what is the Bobcat video and why is it such an impactful opportunity for students?
Yeah, the Bobcat video is an opportunity. It's kind of a side thing now in video tech. When I first started teaching video tech, it was like the main thing. We just did the announcements. There was only one section of video tech, and we did the announcements. They were live. They were sent to all the little TVs in the school. But now it's become kind of a secondary behind all of the projects and the videography that we learn. But I still think it's really important because students get an opportunity. We start with like an anchor tryout where they have to get up in front of the class and they all do the same exact announcement. And we kind of pick and choose different anchor groups. So they'll come in and they will be the new anchors, just like you were many years ago. And they will come and they'll sit right here on this couch. And you won't see this behind me. Maybe we can get a cutaway or something of it. But they have the dates. It's kind of like their teleprompter. And they are in front of the whole school. So we don't do it live anymore, but we record it and then it's put on YouTube and it's sent out. And during 6th hour, the teachers show the Bobcat video. So it's kind of, there's a lot of kids that don't want to do it. They're very nervous. I make them all do the anchor tryout. I don't make them all be anchors. But a lot of times they'll see the first couple groups do it and say they want to do it. So they have to take a risk. They're getting up in front of everybody. It's great. Now that we do stop it if they mess up. But one of our quotes was one take wonder. We got to do this in one take.
Yep.
So we try to do it in one take, and I tell them even if they mess up, just keep going, play along, ad lib. So it's a really good experience for them to gain some confidence and speaking skills, and they're kind of the leaders of the school. They're telling the news. They're telling what happened.
And I just want to take a moment to talk about my experience doing the Bobcat video with Bob over here. It's really hard for me to explain how big of an impact that doing the Bobcat video had on my public speaking skills, my leadership abilities, because it was really every morning from 6th to 8th grade, or to 7th grade, because then online learning happened, I would come to school 40 minutes early, and we would come together and we would record the announcements. And, to provide some context, Mr. Quinn does play Bob here. Bob does not talk.
Wait. Is this going to be on the air?
Yeah.
You can't tell the Baker students. They don't know that.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
They all know. Maybe some 6th graders still think that Bob is real, but...
Well, I remember I was
just
surprised.
Go ahead. Sorry. I was
No.
trying to be fun.
Well, so it was really a big thing for me to come in every day and do this every day. And I think the best way for me to explain how much I grew from the Bobcat video is to talk about my first Bobcat video versus my last Bobcat video. In my first one, I'm sticking to my script a lot. I'm visibly shy, I'm visibly nervous, and it doesn't seem like I'm really enjoying myself. I'm just, with this taxidermied Bobcat who has an awesome personality. And then in my last Bobcat video, it's virtual now, and once the pandemic hit, me and Mr. Quinn would record the announcements in his office hours every day after school. And all of a sudden, you see this kind of like a new narrator. You see someone who's a lot more confident, someone who's going off the script, being impromptu. And so the announcements had a very big impact on turning me into the person that I am today. And the announcements are a pretty structured opportunity for good reason. The announcements are going to be shown to the whole school. They need to convey a lot of important information, and they also need to be pretty short and concise. But leadership is also about giving space to the people that you're working with, and I think that your Video Tech 1 class really exemplifies that idea. So I would now like to ask you, how does your Video Tech 1 class give students the space to grow independently and create stronger projects?
Okay. And I have to say, though, you were kind of special, though, because you came in like 6th grade and she wanted to jump in there. I was, usually it was some of the 8th graders that were a little bit more comfortable. But you in 6th grade came in and you said, I want to be on the air. I want to do this. And we did. When we were prepping for this, we looked at, I think, one of your first announcements, and it was pretty funny. A little bit nervous. And then you became a natural. By 8th grade, you were running the announcements. You were pretty much telling me what to do. We got to do this. We got to do that. So you're something special. Not everybody comes that far and improves that much, but it definitely gives everybody an opportunity to do that. That opportunity is there. So anyway, to answer your question, we did in Video Tech 1, it is a lot more structured actually, and they do some basic projects that we give out awards for and things like that, and the 3 main types of video, purposes of video. They do like an informative video, then they do a persuasive video, and then they do a video to entertain, a music video, which they like. So it is it's structured, but we do a lot of brainstorming where they get to come up with their own ideas. They look at previous videos and they take some ideas from that, but mostly they're coming up with their own ideas. They can go whatever direction they want to, as long as it's school appropriate. I have to say, it's hard to find songs anymore that make it through Mr. Quinn to be on the announcements. That seems to be tougher nowadays. But as long as it's appropriate, they can kind of do their own thing. They come up with their own ideas, and they do get a lot of freedom in the hallways. They get to go in the hallways and be independent. And I would say 99% of the kids use that time productively. I don't know if 99% of the time is used productively, but 99% of the kids use it productively. There is a little wasted time here or there, and a couple times kids take advantage of their responsibility, but most of the kids really use that time out in the hallways to do interviews, to do different things, to get footage, to dance, to whatever works for the video that they're doing, and they're responsible to get it done. They have a timeline and a deadline. And I'm very strict with that in Video Tech 1 because I want to get to the next project and the next project and the next project.
And I think that time where we just get to kind of be on our own and do what we want helps us become more accountable as well, because so my Video Tech 1 experience was different because it was virtual, but I definitely think there were some classes where it was just an adventure. We got to, log off of Zoom and use different video software to record different videos. And if we did not use that time wisely, we were only harming ourselves. And so we learned from that and we grew from that. And what's special is that for students who absolutely fall in love with Video Tech 1, they can pursue their video interests by then taking Video Tech 2, where, as you like to say, Video Tech 2 is where video techies graduate to become video artists who have a bulk of video knowledge. I do. I am a video artist. I still am. I am here.
You are. Video Hall of Fame.
Thank you. Well, I now want to ask you then, what is the capstone experience of Video Tech 2, and how does it cultivate leadership among students?
Yeah, so they move on to Video Tech 2, and they already have the basics in their back pocket because Video Tech 1 is a prerequisite to being in Video Tech 2. And so I give them more time because that is, if you've probably learned from making videos, the more time you have, the better you can make your video. Deadlines are painful sometimes, but you have to, you have this much time, I can make it this good in this much time. And so that's one of the things that they're taught in Video Tech 2, but I do give them a little bit more time to kind of expand and to fail and to kind of step back up. Sometimes they might have to change their whole topic. That was really tricky in Video Tech 1, like a kid wanted to change their topic. I'm sorry, you can't do it. You have to go with and that's a good lesson too. And a lot of times they turned out great. Video Tech 2, a lot more time to make their videos more professional looking, more artistic, and to change plans and to do different things, to get outside of the classroom or the hallway at Baker and to do things, at home or at the park, or a baseball video or this video or that video. So they have a lot more freedom. And then one of the things that they love the best is at the end, they do a choice video. The last 3 weeks of school, they get to do a choice video. You remember you did a choice video. So they get to pick anything that they want. No, the topic isn't given to them, which is very difficult for some of the kids. Sometimes I have to kind of steer them, just pick the thing that you like the best. Sometimes they can't think of it. But a lot of times kids will come up with something different. I think somebody did a Saturday Night Live skit, and somebody did this and that. So they're all different. Do you remember what yours was?
Mine was a video about the ripple effect of kindness. And so it was like one person drops their wallet and then someone picks it up, and then it's just like kindness continues to cycle and you have to pay it forward and pass it on. So, and mine was fun because I did it with all of my friends. It was like online learning, so I never got that experience of like working on a project with your friends and your peers, but we all came together and we made that video.
Yes,
so.
I do remember that. I'm embarrassed that I forgot. But I do remember the ripple, and it was awesome, as all of your projects were. But, yeah.
So at this point, I'm sure that some of our viewers are like, man, I need to get involved in this video work. It sounds so awesome. But we might have some viewers who are like, this sounds awesome, but I don't know if it's for me. But I think the beauty of our conversation is that the ideas and the lessons that we're talking about really go beyond just making videos. So I would now like to ask you, how do the lessons that you teach extend beyond video production?
Well, yeah, I think less and less in society today, people have to, be out there. And like I said, with those anchor tryouts back in Videotech 1, kind of put yourself out there, take a risk. And Videotech 1, Videotech 2 gives you that opportunity to take that risk, get out there. And I've seen a lot of kids even open up, like little sixth graders, nervous sixth graders. Well, you weren't nervous when you were a sixth grader, but most sixth graders are nervous. And but to see them open up, and that's another opportunity. I run the broadcast club, and it's mostly sixth graders who can't take Videotech yet because that's a 7th and 8th grade elective. So a lot of sixth graders kind of get a taste of video and see if they like it or not. And I can see them grow from vertical videos with no
that's Mr. Quinn's pet peeve right there.
VVS, no VVS, vertical video syndrome. I like them to be horizontal, and misspelled titles and bad microphones, and then they come to Videotech 1, and then they do that again in Videotech 1. They don't just become. It happens in Videotech still, but to see them grow and to see them be more comfortable in their own skin, to come out and to take risks and to show videos to the whole school. A lot of the videos that they do in Videotech are also on the Bobcat video, so it all kind of ties together. And I've seen lots of kids open up and become, they're in the student government, they're in the theater class, and they kind of go together. I like having kids that come from theater class and Videotech because they're good actors. And Mrs. Traver always says, oh yeah, I can tell they took Videotech because they kind of know what they're doing. They're not so nervous to get up in front of an audience. So it's helpful. And for all the things that you've done, the leadership roles that you've had, standing up, talking in front of people, in front of the whole board, in front of, it allows you to gain some confidence, I think. It's a small step. It's only I get like 60 views or something like that. So there's not, a ton of people watching them, but the middle school community is watching, and you assume that all the students are watching them too because the teachers show them to their classes. So it's kind of your first taste of getting that. And I've heard of, some of the anchors, kids talk to them like, oh, I saw you on the Bobcat video, or you messed up. And it's kind of like you learn from your mistakes.
You messed up.
Well, we do mess up, right? That's part of life. And how you react to that, I think it's a good first taste of that. So I think there's a lot of those skills. And like the leadership and working with groups. And using the technology and troubleshoot. I mean, there's a lot of things that go beyond video because most of these kids are not going to become movie stars or famous camera people. Hopefully, some of them will, but those other skills are the ones that carry over.
Yeah. And you mentioned other students coming up to other students and saying, "Oh, like I saw you on the Bobcat video." It's really funny that you say that because during my time at Baker, I would walk through the halls and so many people would recognize me and know me from the Bobcat video. But I never really saw it as like people are going to remember that. But even now, like I'm 4 years removed from being an anchor, students from Troy High, Athens, like random people will be like, "Oh my God, were you the anchor on the Bobcat video?" And I was like, "Yeah, like how do you remember that?" And they're like, "We saw you every single day." Like, what do you mean, how do we remember that? And so it was truly a very special opportunity for me. And every now and then I'll get the question of like, how do you think the Bobcat video has allowed you to become the leader that you are today? And the honest answer to that is in so many ways. Like, I do not think I would be the person that I am today without the experience that I had with this guy over here.
Bob, he's crying. You're making him cry. Stop it.
His bones are coming out.
Don't look at this ear.
But truly, you know, I think the Bobcat video helped me develop a strong discipline and work ethic. Like coming to school 40 minutes early and then staying after school 40 minutes late once online learning started, it really helped me become passionate and understand what it's like to have a real job or like a real position. Because this was the first big thing that I ever did, my first big rodeo. And it taught me how to stick with something, continue to be passionate, and grow. Not to mention how much more organized I became. We have to show a cutaway of what's on the whiteboard over here. But being able to stay organized with the news that you have to share, being able to plan out the Bobcat video, being able to plan out scenes of a video that you're making, especially when you're working with other people. I think all of those skills that I developed now translate into how I organize and plan the logistics of events and service projects.
Planning is key, yes.
Planning is key.
That's one of the messages I try to instill in the kids because they want to go out and film right away. They have an idea and they want to go out, but planning, storyboarding, planners, these kind of things are important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I learned that lesson the hard way, honestly. In 6th grade, I would take the dollies out into the hall to record something. And I wouldn't have a plan, and then it would just kind of not be as awesome. And then Mr. Quinn would be the person who was like, all right, that wasn't our best take. How can we do this better next time? And so a lot of self-reflection comes into that.
Did I say it that nicely? No.
I'm sure you did. From my memory, you did. But so it really helps you become more organized. And last but not least, I think the Bobcat video helped me become more confident. And become a better public speaker. Like right now, I'm on IA's forensics team, which is our competitive public speaking team. I'm on our Model UN team, our debate team. I MC our culture show, which is in front of like almost 1,000 people. And all of the skills that I apply in those scenarios, I think I can directly relate back to the Bobcat video, which was all you and Bob.
Well, let's be fair. Like you have changed. The Bobcat video has evolved, and it changes every year. This is like new furniture. Things change. Different students, obviously. Having someone that really kind of grabs it by the horns, so to speak, like you did, and
the ears,
or the ears. Yes, that you made a lot of differences too. I mean, you were organized too. I think you. You had to, especially over the COVID period and things like that. I remember you coming. Okay, here we have this, and this. I'm like, oh, we have that coming up this week, and you were on top of things. So your organization has kind of carried over to what we have now. I mean, and you've changed it, and you've also made it, like you said, people want to be like we have 6 sections of video tech now. So
wow,
there's lots of kids that want to do it. They're not quite up to your standard yet, but hey, you never know. Who's going to be the next narrator? That's kind of the question. And teachers still, too. They kind of come up to me and say, yeah, who's the next narrator? So it's kind of a fun thing for me as a teacher, too, to see the new batch of video techies every year and then video artists and to see where they grow and where they get to. And we have had a lot of good ones we were talking about before the show, some of the famous ones. So,
and I think that it is an understatement to say that Mr. Quinn is being humble right now, because if you just imagine being in Mr. Quinn's shoes, I mean, a little 6th grader coming to school 40 minutes early every single day and like peeking their head in your door and being like, Mr. Quinn, can we please record the Bobcat video? Like there were so many days where I know Mr. Quinn had a million things on his plate. I mean, you heard like his resume at the start of this, all of the different hats that he wears here at Baker, but never was there a single day where Mr. Quinn said, Narita, I'm a little busy today. Let's not record the Bobcat video. He never said that. He always said, let's do it. He always encouraged me and helped me do better. At the beginning of my Bobcat video journey, Bob really held my hand through it and was like, Narita, like, what time is this event going to be happening? Oh, hold my hand. Let me hold you up. There were days where Bob would be like, oh, Narita, like, don't forget, what time is this happening? When is this event? Narita, what's happening on Friday? And then it turned into, as the years passed, me being more accountable and being able to go off the script and remember those big events and maybe let you know about them as well. So you have had a big role in this as well. And to end, I want to ask you, Mr. Quinn, what traits do you think make students stand out as remarkable leaders in the programs that you lead? And what advice would you give to the student leaders who are watching today?
Great question. There's no one thing, obviously, but I would say two things. Two things. There's not one thing. There's two. There's more than two things. But the two things that pop into my head are, number one, the ability to try different things and to be a risk taker. I think, and I know this worked for you, and this is what teachers tell every student. Get involved in everything. Try everything. See if you like it or not. Push yourself. It might not be the most comfortable thing. It might not be your favorite thing. You might not have enough time. None of us have enough time, but to try doing that. Try doing those things. And then the second thing is to have enthusiasm about it, to have fun with it. And that was one of the good chemistry that you had. And there were days when I wanted to say, no, let's not do the Bobcat video. But your enthusiasm made it how can I say no to this? How can I say no to this? The enthusiasm that you have and to do everything in a positive way, that is so huge for whatever you do. And you always had both of those. Obviously, you do everything, and you're all so positive, enthusiastic about it. So I would say to be a leader, and then when you try everything and you're positive about everything, you give everything a chance, you can see what are your best skills, what are your best what do you like best? What do you do best? What fits your personality? So that comes out at the end. And wow, you have so many opportunities. You probably are not going to be like a news show. Maybe you will. I don't know.
Maybe.
But it kind of opens things up to whatever you want to do. If you can be enthusiastic and you can try different things and take a risk, I think you can be a leader of anything.
Yeah. And what you said about really enjoying what you do really resonated with me, because when I think back to middle school, I don't think man, it was hard for me to record the announcements every day. I think, man, that was an awesome time. It never felt like I was taking the time out to do a job. I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed working with Bob. I enjoyed working with you. And that's what made it truly special. And I think that's why I was so enthusiastic and positive, is because I genuinely enjoyed what I was doing. So I echo that. I would say that for all the students who are watching, find something that you're truly passionate about. Find something that ignites a fire within you, because then as you continue to do that thing, it won't feel like work. It will feel like you're just doing what you love. So now, before we end, I want to share the story of how I became Narita SLBs. And Mr. Quinn alluded to this in the beginning, but my whole life I was just Narita LBs. And then in 6th grade, I became Narita SLBs because I did the announcements with Bob A. Bobcat. And for me, Narita SLBs was just the person that I was on the announcements, because I had to become her to match Mr. Quinn's energy. And Narita SLBs was this girl who had the confidence to talk in front of the camera. And she was the kid that everyone saw on the big screen. And as I evolved through 8th grade, I continued to be Narita SLBs. And I remember this distinct moment in 9th grade when I was about to go on stage for the IA Culture Show. And I was running through the script in my head, and my partner MC had written down Narita LBs for how to introduce myself. Yeah. And I'm playing the script in my head, and I'm this is wrong. How am I supposed to go up there and say I'm Narita LBs? I'm not. I'm Narita SLBs. And so over the years, I really turned into this person that I was trying to be. I turned into this more confident person. And all of that comes back to you, Mr. Quinn. So
I didn't know that story. That's interesting. So you still go by Narita SLBs?
Yeah, that's how I introduced myself here today. My signature is Narita SLBs. When they say in those forms print first name, print last name, they don't have a room for middle initial. I leave it out. But that's what I go by. Yeah.
And that S stands for special.
Aw.
You are special, Nareda. Thank you for this interview. I mean, I'm flattered of all the nice things you said. Bob is flattered as well. And good luck with everything that you do. I mean, it makes it worthwhile being a video teacher and being a teacher at all, and having students that succeed in the future and come back. It's so nice. I've been able to see you a couple times.
Yeah.
The food drives and different things, and you're right over at the IA. It makes teachers feel really good too when they have students that do come back and stay in touch, and that's meant a lot to me too. So special is good. What does the S really stand for?
My middle name.
Which is?
Sayeda.
Okay, all right. Well, I thought it was special. It's close.
I'm sure it means special.
It could be. It could
yeah,
be too.
Yeah. Well, I also want to stay in touch, Mr. Quinn, and I very much look forward to seeing future students embrace the opportunities that you provide to find their own voices just like I did. So thank you for being a part of this podcast, The Adventure Mindset. I am your host, Nareda S. Albiz. Thank you for listening.